All right, good morning, everybody. Today is going to be Friday, September 16th. Those on YouTube and Facebook, thank you for joining us this morning. If you like this live show that I do every morning, first hour is free to the public. After that, we continue on with our subscribers. But if you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that notification bell so we can keep you up to date with any new videos that are coming out. And give me those likes. That definitely helps the channel, lets me know I need to continue on with this. And hopefully you're getting some value out of it. Once again, the whole purpose of this morning show is to demonstrate that when I trade, I do not trade with indicators. I use what I have, something that I found over 35 years ago that called behavioral patterns. That in combination with something we also call Einstein. I'll explain that here in a minute. So the idea is to demonstrate that you don't need to trade with indicators, folks. I've never known anybody to be consistently profitable trading indicators. All right, this is a time-tested, over the last 35 years, been proven in the real market and continues to hold up today. And I don't see why it wouldn't continue to hold up in the future. It's all based on the premise: as long as the market's moving, we should be able to make money. So, and if the market's not moving, then it's probably not a market, right? So anyway, okay, so let's see what we're going to be trading this morning. Continue on with the indices, RTY and NQ. That's going to be our mini Russell for RTY and NQ for the mini NASDAQ. Continue to watch gold and natural gas, GC for gold, NG for natural gas. On the currencies, Forex, we're going to be watching Euro US and the US yen. And on the stocks, we're going to be watching Tesla, Apple, LPLA and XOP, those two we were watching yesterday as well. And what we're going to be using is a couple different strategies. So on the indices, RTY and NQ, and on the commodities, gold and natural gas, and on our stocks down here, we're going to be using something called Einstein. Einstein is a combination of a mathematical formula and also several different patterns that will provide us with exact entries. It gives us a profit target and a reversal. So we will hold on to the trade till either we hit profit target and or reversal. Profit targets are going to hit somewhere between 72 and 80% of the time before hitting reversal. But if we do hit reversal, we'll recalculate and provide us with a target in the opposite direction. Now on the currencies, we're going to be using one of 5 different what we call core patterns. That's taught in our silver package. It's taught in all the packages, but the foundation of everything that we do is going to be based off of these patterns. And so we'll be looking for those on the currencies, the Euro, US, and the yen. And the way that works is that once we get into a trade, we won't hold it longer than 4 to 5 minutes, and then we get out. So it's going to be more time sensitive. All right, so let's see what we have setting up right now. It looks like we do have a short here in the gold, getting a short on the gold. And we'll go ahead and give you a profit target on that. Okay, I'm looking at gold for a profit target of 1664. 1664. And the reversal at 1676. 1676. All right, so we're going to start off with a short gold. Nothing on our indices, still coming down. We are expecting a lower opening on Dow this morning. Okay, so only right in a short gold here right now. LPLA. I'm looking for the pullback here. Let's get a target on this pullback here on this LPLA. Looking for it to pull back down to 231.80. So a couple ways that you can play this. Now, once again, these will work with any stock. You don't have to trade these stocks. Trade your favorite stock. I always suggest you stick with one or two stocks you really like and stick with it. Understand its personality. You don't need to be trading all over the board. You've seen people trade different stocks every day. You don't need to do that with this strategy. So 231.80 is going to be my target for this LPLA. And also, if you're a short trader, you can sell these, or you can just waiting for the pullbacks, and then we'll continue to watch to see if we can get a buy set up. All right. Right now, it looks like it does want to pull back down to that 231.80 level on LPLA. Of course, we're still pre-market here, and we're not going to open here for another 20 minutes or so. Okay, the other thing we do, we also provide our overnight setups, or that we call daily setups, because we put the trade on the night before and exit the following day, based on the same patterns that I'm using for my short-term trader. But if you prefer to put a trade on set and forget, dailies have done extremely well. I personally trade them. Coming in this morning, I'm coming. Let's see here. We have a Euro US, which is short, Euro US. And then on the Euro Pound, that's coming in long. So we got a Euro Pound coming in long from last night, and a Euro US, what's coming in short from last night. So that's where we are there. And basically, those trades, you just put them on the night before. I do send out an email. It does come with the service, so if you're part of our service, you get those free of charge. I do the calculations for you. So, but at the same time, when you buy our packages, you're also going to be able to understand how we arrive at those setups on those dailies, just as you would on how we arrive at all the setups with what we do, either on the currencies, the stocks, the commodities. We're all basically using the same type of method and strategy, which is based on patterns. So you can apply it to one, you can apply it to all. All right, just sitting here short. Short the gold. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, the over-the-counter sleep aid. It's called Rested. It's put out by Steel Supplements. STEELE, I think is the way they spell it. And it's called Rested. It works for me. Works for my girlfriend. It has a good flavor. You just mix it with some water. I would be careful taking it in the morning. They recommend a scoop. I would start off with a half a scoop, but it's definitely helps me if I can't sleep. It definitely helps me get a good night's sleep. It's amazing stuff, and I really don't even know what the heck's in there. And it's not melatonin. So I've tried melatonin. Melatonin never did anything for me to help me sleep. I've taken a few sleeping pills in my life, probably no more than 2 or 3, and I think this works a lot better, to be honest with you. So anyway, I'm certainly not a doctor, and I don't recommend that. Always consult with your doctor before taking any medication. But it is over the counter, and it is, it's a supplement. So Ken, if you decide to use that, let me know. Let me know how you like it, all right? I'd like to see what kind of results you have with it. All right, still short. Looks like that yen's going to continue to come down here. One of the things that I've noticed, if you're trading the US yen, kind of watch and see what the Dow's doing. That's always going to kind of give you an indication of what's going to happen with the US yen. If we're weak, typically if we're weak on the Dow, we're going to be weak on the US yen. Or you could always track the yen against the dollar. So if your dollar's been weak, more than likely you're going to see a weaker US yen. Looks like snow's going to pull down. Let me see here. What do I have here? Never mind. That's a different stock. Watch the snow too in the background. It looks like it's going to pull back pretty good here. Let's look at snow real quick here. Snow. Stock I like to watch. Snow is snow looks like it wants to pull back a little bit further to the downside. All right, still hold on to that short gold. Gold being one of my favorites. If you like to trade Einstein, which obviously once you learn Einstein, it's almost a no-brainer. But if you like to trade Einstein, I never recommend trading more than 2 markets at a time. So like maybe an indice. My favorite is going to be R2Y, which is going to be the mini Russell and gold, or mini Russell and natural gas. Those are typically my favorites. It's very difficult, as well as just even, you'll see sometimes even me keeping up with it, just even provide you with the setups. It can be very difficult when you're looking at 2 indices that move together. And they can both get triggered at the same time, and if the market's moving fast, by the time you get your entry in and you look to see what your target is, it's gone and hit target. So you just can't trade more than 2 on the indices. Now, if the market's slow, you can do that, but the problem is you never know. Is it going to be a slow mover or a big mover? We do have some clues with some of the things that we use, but as far as Einstein is concerned, I would never trade two indices at the same time. And you don't need to. If you can do well on one, why would you want to trade two different markets, right? And as far as diversity, it's okay to be diverse, but if you have two markets that are moving in the same direction, that's not diversity. So pick one you like, stick with it. Or if you have two markets that move together, like R2Y and gold typically are going to move together. But gold's a lot slower, so that's okay. You can go with gold. It's a little bit slower mover. But you definitely don't want to trade two fast-moving markets like, even natural gas, and R2Y sometimes can be very quick. So you have to be careful with natural gas. All right, just holding on to the short gold. Yeah, that's that. They have that report coming out at the Michigan Consumer Sentiment. It's coming out at 10. It could put some volatility in the market. I've found that one to be kind of iffy. We'll see what the pre-market looks like. Typically on a report, any kind of report, you can get an idea of whether it's going to be a big move or not by looking at the pre-action. It's something that I teach in our classes, but a lot of times the pre-action of the market will give you some indication of whether, when that report comes out, whether we're going to have a move or not. And there's definitely ways of taking advantage of that. But not every single report is going to have that kind of, large volatility, those large swings, which we love to trade. So pre-market, a lot of times watching pre-market, or watching pre-report watching the pre-action right before the report comes out. So if you have a report that comes out at 10, what has it been doing over the last 10 minutes prior to 10 a.m.? And that's going to give you some sort of clue on what kind of mover you're going to have with that particular report. And a lot of times the action before report can be traded. We have done that. We've traded pre-reports and we traded post-reports. So it just depends on the particular action, whether you want to jump in early on before a report comes out and play it, and whether you're going to play it after the report. For me, I'm looking at trading off of 5-minute bars. So I'm not holding on to a trade more than 5 minutes. So 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after 10 a.m. I always watch to see if I have a nice setup and whether I have the indication that it's one that's going to move. So we'll watch. We'll see what's going on here at 10 a.m. So right now, just hanging short on the gold, waiting for LPLA to pull back. Oh, we have a little short going on over here on the yen, the US yen. We have a short going on the US yen. Let's take a look at that. It's coming in at 143.27. I was busy talking. 143.27 was that short. US yen. Now, when you're trading this strategy, you can use any platform that you like. If you want to trade outright spot, you can do that. I do have a gentleman that does that, and does extremely well with Forex, and he trades outright spot. He does trade some indices. I think he trades a small E-mini S&P 500, and he does a little bit of mini Russell. And you can read about his success on our website. You can go to innovativetradingstrategies.com. You'll see his success, and I think he's actually going to start managing money for prop firms. So the guy's done well over 2 years. Started off green, and now look, he's already gone professional. So this strategy is extremely powerful. It's different. We don't use indicators. So you don't want to follow the crowd, folks. Think about it. 98% of traders are losing money. What are 98% of traders using? 98% of traders that are trading are technical, and they're using indicators. Publicly available indicators. So, I mean, that within itself tells you got to be using a different type of strategy. And that's something I realized back in the 1980s after doing and spending thousands of dollars on research. We realized that indicators were not the solution. The solution was going to be found in what we call behavioral patterns. So we're not talking about head and shoulders. We're not talking about triangles and wedges and those kind of things. These are very specific price patterns that we look at. And then we also realize that they come in kind of layers. So if you have to layer them on top of each other to get a more holistic idea of what the market's going to do. So a particular pattern by itself, every single one of them can be tradable, but you can increase those probabilities and get a better idea of not only in the direction, but the size of the move by layering. And that's what we do, and that's what we teach you. All right, so still short gold. Now, when you're trading Einstein, you get triggered. Let's see, where did our trigger come in on gold? Came in at 1668. So one of the things I like to do, and this is another way you can trade this, is because the thing that we learned about using stops in the market, it's kind of counterintuitive. Your stops have to be larger than your targets because you've got to give the market room to move. Now that's assuming you have a system that is going to hold up at least 70% and higher, and that Einstein does do that. But the other way that you can trade Einstein is once you get triggered, most times you're going to have a pullback in the market. All right. So let's say if gold were to pull back up to around 1670, 1672, what I would do is I'd put on, for me, an additional contract. For a conservative trader, they can just wait for those pullbacks and put on a single contract. All right, so now you do have a 2-to-1. You're risking $1 to make 2. So that's the other way you can do that. And we'll show you what those levels are on those pullbacks. But so there's a couple ways you can trade Einstein. I like to add initial position and then on the pullbacks add to my trade. That's just kind of my style. I'm a little bit more of an aggressive trader. But everything that I do is based off of probabilities, and I just do the math. You have to make, if you have a method of trading and you know that your setups are 70% and higher, then that allows you to take on a little bit more risk, right, for your trades. You could even do like a 2-to-1, and you'd still come out ahead, right? And so what we found, and this was true way even back in the 80s when I was trading, is that, a lot of people be putting these tighter stops, and then you have these larger targets. And what I was seeing, they were always getting stopped out before they actually were able to. Had they held on and used a little bit bigger stop, they would have done all right. Now, that doesn't mean to say you can't use a trailing stop once you get in. That's a different story, but I'm talking about initially when you put the trade on. All right, so just sitting here short gold, pretty quiet. Nice little trade on the that yen. Ken, I do not. I do not. I can certainly ask him, but I do not know what he uses. But you can use anything. You could use TradeStation. You know, you can use anything that you want to trade off. It doesn't have to be. I prefer Nadex as a platform. And when I'm using Nadex, I'm using knockouts, which are just like trading spot anyway. So I think Nadex is a better way of trading or a better platform to trade off of. But, you know, if you want to trade Forex, you could use any platform you like. I know he doesn't use TradeStation. I don't know what he uses, but as long as you have the ability to have, you know, different time frames on your charts, and you can get good execution, then you should be okay with any, you know, and they're all pretty good. All right, Dow's going to open up here in just a little bit more than a minute. So we definitely are expecting a lower opening this morning. Also, if you'd like to see how we're doing on the daily setups, once again, we put those out, send an email out every night. If you'd like to look at those results, you can find them on the website, innovativetradingstrategies.com. You'll see an option to look at the dailies, and what it does is it opens up a spreadsheet, breaks down the trades, every single one of the different markets that we track, breaks it down per each pattern for every single one of them. So a lot of information there. If you like to, if you're the kind of guy that likes to run your own numbers, you can. It's available. All right, let's see what this market's gonna do. That's gonna put us down 343. Okay, that's a pretty good size opening. 343 on the down. Let's see if that should put pressure on the gold. Wow, look at what LPLA did. Just blasted through that alert. Didn't even give it a chance to go off. Profit target. Little delay there on that. So once again, talking about the dailies, if that's the kind of trader you like to be, there's several different ways you can trade that. As far as account size, I would say if you want to trade all of them, I wouldn't want. I don't think you should trade less than $1,000. If you want to trade just a couple of the patterns, you can start off with 500. I do have people that are doing that, and they only trade a couple of the different patterns. But what you see there is that's based on a one contract basis, actual trades, and also if you look at, if you start with $1,000, if you started with $1,000 at the beginning of the year, let's see where we're at. Not including the trades that we're in right now, it's at $1,600. So what's that? 100. What's that? 60%? No, 160%. So whenever you're evaluating anybody's method, all right, and they throw out these numbers, or you're watching a trader on the internet and you see the guy making, $5,000-$10,000 a day, that can be a little deceiving because they're trading with a $500,000 account. All right, they're not trading with $1,000 account. So that's a little deceiving because people think they can come in and start making $10,000 a day, But most people, 98% of the people, don't have a $500,000 account to trade off of. I don't trade off a $500,000 account, and I do very well. But so you really got to be realistic, and the most important thing to look at is percentage return. So that's the most important thing. Contract size, you can always adjust from 1 to whatever. Or if you're trading stocks, right? I mean, some of these guys, are trading at 10, 20, 30,000 shares, going for pennies. So anytime you're evaluating any trading approach, you want to look at what is the percentage return. So in other words, how much do I need to start trading with it? And what kind of return? I think most people today, general public, would be happy if they had a 10% return on their money every year. 10%. Where can you go to get 10% return? So, got to look at trading realistically. I think there's a lot of new traders get so excited about all the money, but they're not being realistic in terms of, to make big money, you have to have big money. That's just the way it is. Now, you can take a small account and parlay it up, but don't think you're going to come in and start making $10,000 a day, with $1,000 or $2,000 or even a $10,000 account. You're not going to make 100% on your money every day. That's not realistic. So, anyway, and also when you're trading any kind of, or evaluating any kind of program, the question is, okay, so did they make that $10,000 on one trade, or did they make that $10,000 on 10 trades? For me, I'd rather see a program make $10,000 on 10 trades than one trade, because anybody can hit on one trade. But the more you trade, can you still hit at that type of return? That's going to be the key. If you trade 100 and you're getting 100% return, that's better than trading 2 times and getting 100% return. So that's a little, when you're looking at evaluating anybody, the thing is that look at the number of trades. How many trades do you make, right? Overall. Now, on a daily basis, you should come in with a goal. You should, you want to take quality over quantity. So, if you make a couple trades, you should hit a goal. Typically, a typical goal should be hitting at least 4 or 5 trades, if you're waiting for those ideal setups. All right, gold's starting to come down a little bit here. I'm just seeing we have nothing on the yen, nothing on the euro. Stocks are pulling back. Dow's down 393. Gold's looking good on that short. So Ken L, let me see here. Ken Ken L, what markets do you like to trade? Ken L. I think you're joining us on YouTube. Just curious to see what kind of markets you like to trade. My favorites are always going to be the indices. Euro US, US yen, always my favorites. Love gold, love natural gas. I've been trading the S&P 500 way back in the 80s, early 80s. When it was $500 a point. It was a monster. They didn't have the minis out there then. They didn't have the small E-mini S&P. Okay. Let's take a look at that. All right, so mini down, mini down, mini down, mini down. I'm just gonna look at the mini down real quick and see what I'm showing here on mini down. Pretty sure it's coming down. Yeah, it's coming down. May get a little bounce on it. Not yet though. I don't see anything there yet. So what platform do you like? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love the S&P. It's always been my favorite. Been trading that now for God, pretty much since I started 40 years. Do you what platform, Ken, are you using? I've never heard of that one. I have never heard of that one. You like it? Hanko trade? Yeah, I've never heard of it. I'll check it out. Yeah, see where they're located. Where are these guys located? Are you overseas? Are you in the U.S. or are you overseas? Because yeah, I've never heard of that exchange. You're in the U.S., really? Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of those guys before. Thing you got to be careful about is, are you, how, if, you make money, can you withdraw your money? You got to be careful you trade with I would only trade with somebody that's regulated by the government, and your funds are segregated, meaning that they have no interest in how much you make or lose. They're just, they're just making their money on commissions. Okay, all right. So did you have trouble with them? You know what? I mean, I would take a serious look at Nadex, because based on what you're telling me, it's like trading spot anyway. You can trade the E-mini, you could trade the mini Russell, you can trade your mini Dow, you could trade the mini Nasdaq. Uh, on the commodity side, you've got gold, crude oil, natural gas, silver, uh, currencies. You got tons of currencies you could trade. So, and it is regulated. It's a regulated exchange. So I'd like Nadex. They have good customer support. They always answer when I call. Never have trouble withdrawing funds. I mean, it's a great exchange. So, big company just bought them, Crypto.com, which is exciting because they're going to start offering a lot more crypto products, I would think. So, Bitcoin's available. Well, at least I know it's trackable. I don't know if you can trade Bitcoin yet, but I know Bitcoin's up there and trackable. So, if you like trading, you know, cryptos, they're going to have probably a lot more cryptos available. So, really good things happening here with Nadex. I'll continue to stay with Nadex, but if for some reason I change my mind, there's a lot of different opportunities. As long as they have, good, quick execution, then I'm happy. That's execution for me is important. It's been real quiet this morning. Real quiet. Not seen anything. Nothing on Tesla, nothing on Apple, nothing on LPLA, nothing on XOP. Not getting anything on the currencies right now. I just short gold. Let me see if there's anything going on in crude oil. Crude oil is probably coming down. Yeah, silver's been coming down. Crude oil's been coming down. Dow's down 300. Nothing. Nothing on anything else. Just short gold. Pretty quiet. You know what? And here's the thing, and I'm glad that you brought this up, Ken, because I do have people trading on MT4. I personally, I'm using, I'm using Thinkorswim, but I'm executing through Nadex. All right, so most of my setups, I'm using Thinkorswim for my setups, and then I just put the trades on through Nadex, is what I do. But like I said, you can use anything that you like. If you want to use the Nadex charts, you can use those. But I've been using Thinkorswim pretty much since they started, and I've been with them for years. Have you looked at Thinkorswim at all? If you like, but if you, it doesn't matter. If you like MT4, you can use MT4. Use that for your setups, and then I would recommend, you could use Nadex to execute, or trade through whoever you want to trade through. Wow, just like super quiet this morning. I'm surprised. Thought I'd have at least a bounce come in here. But there is no bounce. YM still short. YM is going to be your mini Dow. Okay, so what you gonna? Yeah, so with Thinkorswim, what you have to do? It used to be it was free. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, you get real time data and everything. Now I think you have to open up a small account with TD Ameritrade, and depending on who you talk to. Let me see if I can find something here. I've heard of people putting in $50. I've heard people putting in $500. But the thing is that it's great because once you open your account, you put a little bit of money in there, just stick it in some sort of interest-bearing instrument, and then you have all the data you want. It's all free. It's real-time. Great charting package. Let me see what I have here. I don't know if it'll tell me what the minimums are today, but I don't. But I think, like I said, I've had students call them and they say one amount, then they call them, talk to somebody else, and they have a different amount. So put in as much as you need to, and then you're going to have your live data, man, and you're going to have access to the platform. Yeah, TD Ameritrade is the one who owns them now, and I'm not seeing anything in here about minimums. But if you decide to go with something like Thinkorswim, you decide to use it, a lot of the templates I have on my website for our members, so if they don't want to set up all their charts, then these templates are available just to download them and install them on Thinkorswim. I don't have them from any other platform. They're not hard to set up. You can set them up on any platform, but it's just convenience-wise, I do have those available for Thinkorswim. You can open up, I think you can still download it, but I think it's going to be a time delay, so you may want to check it out. But if you wanted the real-time data, just put a little bit of money in, open an account, and like I said, put in something that's going to earn interest for you. You don't need to trade. You don't even need to trade it. Just let it sit there. That's what I do. I don't trade it. I just let it sit up there. So you see how we're coming up to that 1670 level on gold. So what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to add to my position on the short. So if somebody's didn't put initial trade on, good level to put it on because you're going to risk up to 1676. And we're looking at 1664 for an objective. So we're gonna see if I can get 70. I'm gonna try to get 72 on it and sell it at 72. So there I'll be risking 4 to make 8. Alright, so take a look at the stocks real quick. Still don't see anything there. Don't see anything on the currencies. Dow down 377. How far down is the Dow gonna go? Let's take a quick look at our Dow real quick here. Yep. Oh, look at that gap. Remember we were talking about that gap down here? We filled it today. Look at that. We filled up the gap we've been talking about for at least a good month and a half. And that was a gap back on July 14th. You see that gap between that high price there and that low of the following day on the 15th? So we filled it today. And these are real key, these are going to be key levels down here. All right, so yeah, we are at the top of the hour. Thank you, Glenn, for all that you do for us, buddy. Those on YouTube and Facebook, any other, if you have additional questions or like to learn more about my strategies, I have a ton of videos on YouTube, innovativetradingstrategies.com, or go to our website. And if you need to get a hold of me, best way to do it is through the website. I do answer all of my emails. So besides that, everybody have a safe weekend. And we will see, well, we'll see our students here Sunday night. We start trading Sunday night in our live room. Continue on through Friday. But for the morning show, we'll be back Monday morning, same time. And y'all have a really nice weekend. Take care.